my husband's name is Charlie. The first time I saw him was on a bus. He was going to play cricket, and I went with another friend to watch the cricket game, and that was the first time I ever saw him. But other than that, it was just at club in the socials. Really, we met. At Skeet, yeah, one mixed weekend it was, and with Yogi was there that weekend. It was, and we just got together, just like one another. Then we got married 5 years later.
Shotgun wedding.
5 years later.
Met him at the social clubs. I was not interested in the least bit. He couldn't dance. He was only interested in football. I was more interested in the other boys. So there was no interest as far as I was concerned. He was, I have to say, really from day one. Anyway, he went into the service like conscription forces, and then the time he came out, fortunately, he'd become more of a man than the boy that went in. So therefore, it was a whole different ballgame. He took myself and my friend out, and then I thought, well, yeah, he's not too bad. and then it progressed from there, and we started going out together, and we found that we had the same interests, and that's it, progressed from there. But it was quite a while, because it was like a 3-year engagement, and then, yes, so long sort of times, but never looked back, so it was a good move.
That's my husband. He was a manager at the club. That's me. I was 13, 14. He was manager at the club. But obviously, as a manager, that was it. And then I think when I was about 16, he actually asked me out. And it went from there. We went out for 2 years, got engaged for 2 years, and got married after that. But it was always because he was always around and always there at the club. I went out with lots of other boys first before I started going out with Joe.
I met Jerry at Brady at the socials, and I was 15 at the time, and we had you really went out with them, and it just became that you were going to get married, sort of thing, because it was nearly 7 years before we actually married, because we had to save up for a wedding. And I was frightened to take him home because there were so many of us up there, and I thought this is going to be quite embarrassing. But I did take him home, and he loved the environment. And then we got married when I was 21, he was 23, and to date we've been married for 62 years. So yeah, and we've had a lovely life. We've got 2 lovely daughters and 3 grandchildren now, and yeah, so very happy marriage. And obviously you just work together, and we managed to have a nice life together. But money was never a thing that we really thought about. He did have a good job. He was an apprentice, and then he was a printer. And I always worked, and I was always willing to work, and I loved working anyway. And yeah.
Well, funnily enough, I liked Lionel's brother. I really liked him, and we did go out a few times. But I met Lionel one night after club. He'd gone into the Air Force on these, whatever you had to do, for 2 years. And he was at Sam's that we spoke about before, Sam's Super Special. And I met him there. I'd seen him. And he asked me, would I go to a 21st birthday party with him? And I did. That was just that. We've been married for almost 63 years. And we've got lovely children, lovely grandchildren, and 1 great granddaughter, and everything's been absolutely lovely. All thanks to Brady.
Brady.
I think we learnt it.
Yeah,
I mean, I was an
Brady.
only child, so I spent most of my time with Barbara's family.
I think it was partly my mother. I think a lot to do with it, and then it went on to Brady. We all help one another, I
yeah.
think. We all help one another with everything.
Well, I think mine was definitely Brady, because obviously being a big family, your parents didn't have, they were strict. We never ever answered my mum and dad back,
No.
ever. It just was a thing we
No.
were
You
brought up.
didn't know, did
We
you?
didn't.
With me, it definitely was not Brady. It was due to my parents completely. And also for people that we stayed with during the war at different places, because we were taken as evacuees. So I would say we saw not only the Jewish side, but I went to church and to Sunday school. So I think that gave us a better all-round picture of what the outside world is like. So I can't speak like the others because they went from an early age. I started at 16, so my upbringing had been there.
Was that brought?
So no, nothing to do with Brady. It's my parents.
No, definitely me, it was Brady.
I think it
Because,
was
as I
Brady
said,
as
from a
well.
broken home, though I had 2 older brothers that made sure I was stayed in check. But it was, Brady taught me everything that I know, how to be, and the kindness, and to help other people. That's all from
And I
Brady.
think our children have been brought up that way now, and
Yeah.
they would feel
Yeah.
exactly the same.
Yeah.
Sure.
How we was taught of Brady, we just transferred it within ourselves to other people. It was something we expected, and we expected other people to be exactly the same, really.
I think all of us really are quite kind people who want to help people if we
Yeah.
can. That's the way we've been brought up. We used to do lots of things for the Brady pensioners. Like they used to come to this Old People's Day. We've done fun days at Skeet for everybody to come. Hard work.
Hard
Yeah.
work. We
But
used to
wonderful
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
We never mentioned the fun days, did
Fun
we?
day, yeah.
Absolutely
It
fantastic.
was on a Sunday, always on a
It was
Sunday.
marvellous.
And we used to do a big barbecue, and
marvellous.
And then
everybody.
collapse afterwards.
It was absolutely amazing. They bought the picnics. The people
Yeah.
that came all had picnics, and they picnicked on the lawn, and it was just amazing, really.
Fantastic.
And they used to have hundreds of people there at a time.
We used to raise a lot of money. We used to
On
get
the stall.
donations. We always got all the meat donated by one of the old Brady boys. Was a butcher. He used
Norman
to give us
Goldberg,
everything.
yeah.
I think we just like to help people. That's how we've been brought up,
Yeah,
and
I
that's
think we
what we're
still
trying
do.
to continue to do. Joyce Kemble was a manager. Her husband was called Bob, and he had one leg. And what he did with his one leg was absolutely
It was amazing.
They were just fantastic people. They came from very wealthy people, and they came to the East End, and
They were definitely a different on a different
Sure,
wavelength to
sure.
us, weren't they?
and they just
But they were lovely.
fitted in with us perfectly. They came on holiday with us. They were brilliant, absolutely
We got
brilliant.
invited to their house. We used to go there
Yeah.
for tea.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. She took care of us. She taught us things. I think she taught us
Marvellous.
kindness and how, I don't know. She was just there guiding us. That's the only way I can put it. I think she was one of the best guides we ever had.
Lovely people,
Yeah.
really lovely people.
She taught by example. That's all I can say. I think.
Not
Well, we
pain.
knew she was very rich because her husband had a business of
Kemble pianos.
Kemble pianos.
pianos, and we just looked up to her really
And she
because
just
was very
cared.
nice.
I think she cared so
Yeah.
much about people.
She was just
to
lovely to
think
talk
that
to.
somebody like her would come to Brady,
Mm.
and with all of us at the time.
She was lovely to talk to. wasn't
Yeah,
It
she?
was
was
lovely.
lovely.
Just
She
lovely.
always had time for
Yeah,
everybody.
and there was Pat
Sure.
Myers. She was another
She was
manager.
nice as well.
She was brilliant.
Mm.
Hannah Quarris, she took the PE, and
Sports.
yeah,
And Betty Solomon's.
And Betty
She
Solomons.
did it as well.
Yeah.
They were the ones really that guided us.
Skeet was about to close, desperately needed money. Our children were about 10-ish. We were at the Brady Club in the East End and we said, shall we see if we can raise some money? The kids were for it. Anyway, it was all arranged and they walked from the Brady Club to Skeet, accompanied by a few managers and people along the way. Then at the end of the day, and we thought they're never going to make it, they actually came singing up the hill at Skeet, and we were all there to greet them, not believing they could have walked all those miles to try and save Skeet.
My son was 6 at the time.
That was a wonderful day.
Well, all of my years there were just fantastic. I couldn't have gone to a better club. I'm fiercely protective of Brady. If anybody says anything about Brady or the East End, God help them. Because I had a wonderful childhood and an adulthood as well. I mean, we still went to Skeet right until it closed, which is not so long. Well, it is a few years now, I suppose. But we still went to Skeet all the way through. So I think Brady is just the most fantastic.
So many wonderful memories of Skeet, but my memory is a lot later when they're in the swimming pool and Barbara taught me to swim. You remember? And that was a lot later, but I think that was one of the things that's always stuck. I couldn't swim. I used to love going in the pool, but Barbara taught me to swim.
Didn't teach me.
But I had pains in my side while I was at a weekend there, and they had a Brady manager there, David Wright, who was a doctor, and he said, I'll have to examine you, and he took us up to the dormitory, and he needed somebody, one of the kids to come with as well weren't such kids then, I think it was about 16, 17, and her name was Marion Agengold, and he said, I think you've got grumbling appendix. The person that came in with David to be the chaperone, if you like, they got married from Skeet.
Yeah.
My husband's there, and that will always be special to me. My husband passed away 14 years ago, so yeah, and I still keep thinking about Skeet and all the things we did and the happy time.
My son lives in America now, but he became a member on the Brady website, and he, from going as a young boy, he's now a man of 59, and he still follows things about Brady through my husband and I, of how we've been through with it, and he keeps up to date with it, even though he only went to Skeet, he never went to Brady Club. But it's a legacy that's passed on.
Barbara's daughter and my son are together, and they're both divorced, and then they met each other, but they knew each other from club because they grew up together.
But they were children together,
and so they've been together, I think, about 10 years now. Is it? And we were delighted that they both saw each other again and clicked, and it's been a wonderful relationship.
Yeah.
And we love that. That really is carrying it on.
Yeah.
So,
When our daughter Lisa had her son, she named him Brady. And I said, oh, that sounds nice, Lisa. Why did you do that? So she said, well, you and Dad met at Brady, and we liked the name anyway, and we thought we've got to carry on the, what, Jerry?
The line.
the tradition.
Carry on the line, yeah, carry on the line. And they actually call him Brady Boy.